everyone, how are you? This is part 40, and I'm just hoping that I can get through all of this and be done with this. Kind of just done with the repetitive nature of this discovery. I just really don't see where they were doing further investigations. I mean, they have what he said that one night, and I really want to see how what he said then changed into what was accepted at his sentencing. And I don't see how they went there, what they have done to prove that or whatnot. So I'm just hoping that, this last 250 pages is going to put it all together and I'll be like, oh, that's what I. Right? So here I am on a Sunday night. Hope you guys are all having a good night. I watched one of those TikTok videos about how you can cut layers in your hair, doing you twist it and whatnot. And well, now it kind of looks like Benihana happened on my hair, but why would I think that a TikTok haircut video would not work out, right? But I only did the top, and it was just like dead layers anyway. So like the top layers, the crown piece, that it's like when the crown gets those dead ends, because that's the part that you curl the most, that's your money piece. Gets all the dead ends, and then it's just like sitting there and it gets all frizzy with the hairspray. It's a mess anyway. So yeah, it's a little choppy, but we'll see how that works out. In other words, that means that I'm not wearing my sling very much because I had to use my right hand to try and cut my hair. I'm not cutting my bangs or anything. I had many unfortunate incidents where I ended up looking like Bert and Ernie during my childhood because I didn't really understand. And I mean, hair people don't even understand, but it's like when you have curly or kind of curly hair, you have to cut it dry. Because if you don't and you cut it to where it's going to be, wet, then it shrinks up, and then you're just like, whoa. Then you have a cowlick or widow's peak, whatever they call it, but mine is more of a cowlick than a widow's peak. Anyway, I hope you guys are still enjoying your new year. I'm to that point where I'm clearing out my house, just feeling really cluttery and like the house needs a deep clean because I can see all the dust. But I've had my sling on for 5 weeks and not able to do any housework or anything, so I'm getting a little weird. But we're at 851 now. We are a strong rolling team going together going, what happened here? It doesn't make sense. So, without further ado, here we go. At part 40, where we're going to start with the discovery page 1891, and in the pages themselves 1709 of 1960. We've got a supplemental report. It says no property, and it's FPD, so from the Frederick Police Department, and it's Dave Baumhover. Now what it says here, oh no, it's repetitive. It's about the alcohol, but I don't think we got Nicole's version of it. So let's check this out. So that because this is where we say we know that they saw the toxicology report and they started asking questions and they wanted to figure out how they were going to be able to get ahead of this, because once the discovery was made public after his sentencing, people were going to have a lot more questions about her than they were of him. And so they wanted to get ahead, allegedly, in my own humble opinion, because why else are they asking all of her friends if she was drinking while she was pregnant? And it goes back to all of the times they went out before and whether or not she drank, which has no bearing on anything. The question is why was her blood alcohol level so high being pregnant and in a clandestine grave for less than 48 hours? Now, there are all the people and the damage control that I believe that they did that were all ready to say that that's decomp. Whereas other people and other creators have had guests on and say that's not, that happens in decomp. That's not going to happen to that amount, that level in a pregnant woman for that short of a time. Something happened and they know it, and that's why it's here. But let's just see here, because Baumhover's checking out this, and she's checking out the CPR thing, the Tamburglar, as in she. Now, I am drinking my peppermint tea mixed with well-rested tea from Trader Joe's, like I was telling you guys about. It's really good to drink at night. I'm just really doing well putting the tea maker in the Jack and Jill bathroom. It's never used anyway because it's just not in this end of the house where anybody lives, so it works. Your body just feels so much cleaner drinking peppermint tea at night. I don't know. You just kind of feel like you just brushed your teeth, but through your whole body. Like you just brushed your insides. You know what I mean. So anyway, let's go here. So I'm sipping the tea while I'm spilling the tea. It says the following information was documented at the time it was gathered. The date of this report is not indicative of when the investigations occurred. On 10/3/18, I spoke with Nicole Atkinson via telephone regarding the events that occurred on the evening of 10/12/18 while Shanann was still in Arizona. The conversation was audibly recorded. Nicole said their flight was scheduled for approximately 2000 hours, which would be 8 p.m., and that she, Shanann, Cindy, and Addie went to dinner at approximately 17:30, which would be 5:30. I asked Nicole what Shanann had to eat and drink while attending the pre-flight dinner. She said Shanann ate a chicken Caesar salad and drank water with lemon. I asked Nicole if Shanann ate or drank anything after the group dinner. She said Shanann drank only water and that she, Nicole, kept pushing her to drink more water because of her pregnancy. I asked Nicole if Shanann may have consumed soda, beer, or wine at any time, to which she replied, no, because she's pregnant. Oh, yes. And okay, so Nicole had to sit there and keep telling her to drink water and whatnot and all this stuff, but isn't SW supposed to be their leader and who teaches everybody to live this clean life, and all she wants to do is teach people how to lead a better clean life, and they can do that by merely giving her $250 to $500 a month for them to slap silly stickers all over their body? I love that I see you guys writing silly stickers now. I coined that in June, those silly stickers. And now I see you guys writing that. I'm like, oh, I'm proud of you. Proud. So, we don't know what was in those silly stickers. And the fact that she was saying and acknowledging that there was caffeine in them and saying that her OB and her midwife told her that she could do it, when we've now proven that she had not spoken with her midwife or OB during the third pregnancy, that her appointment to make contact with them was then, that nobody told her that it was safe to use Thrive stickers while she was pregnant. So don't get an attitude, you fuff, Nicole. Anyway. Anyway, Nicole said that there were different appetizers at the table that Shanann may have eaten, but was adamant she drank only water with lemon that night. Nicole said Shanann would sometimes drink something carbonated, but never a soda after she started thriving. Again, there's so much caffeine that... Okay, I gotta stop Watson out. Allegedly, there is so much caffeine in the Thrive things that it... No, I got it. I have to get like a shock collar to stop Watson out. No, because she's pregnant. Okay, so she's... I asked Nicole if Shanann ever drank beer or wine prior to her pregnancy. Nicole said here or there, but it was very irregularly. Nicole estimated Shanann drank once or twice a month. Nicole said Shanann kept alcoholic beverages at the house, but they were used for entertaining guests. On another subject, Nicole said Shanann called Watts at approximately 2300 hours Mountain Standard Time, so that would be 11 o'clock p.m., to inform him that her flight was going to be delayed. Nicole said the phone call was very short and that Shanann told her it sounded like Watts was working out and that he didn't want to talk to her. Nicole said Shanann was emotionally distraught about her relationship with Watts subsequent to their visit with family in North Carolina. According to Nicole, Shanann was looking for advice from other friends about how to fix their relationship and that Watts talked about separation. Shanann told Nicole she was shocked and didn't understand how it got to that point of separation because everything seemed fine between them, she and Watts, before she left for her trip to North Carolina. Side note, and by fine we mean Christopher Watts was buying all of her lies, didn't question her on anything, and Nicole was getting the mail to make sure that Christopher Watts didn't ever see the mail that was coming when Shanann was gone, which is a felony to grab somebody else's mail and hide it. But anyway, who's counting with all the felonies that go around, right? But anyway. This is just really going to the fact that this was not a perfect marriage. This was not this perfect thing. This was not just this shock that out of nowhere this wonderfully happy couple was doing. No, okay, and she knows it. She knows it. She knows it. He knows it. They all know it. Okay, now the fact that this was a Thrive conference where they all went to, they should be talking about nothing but Thrive, Lavelle, and how they're all pumped up and how they're going to go and get new recruits, how inspired they are. That's what these retreats and getaways are for. They are to pump you up. Yes, just like SNL. They are to pump you up. And you see what she's done here? She's taken control of everybody, captivated the audience by them being captivated by all that she has to say and complain about. And she's been doing that since she was in North Carolina. And didn't she go to a couple of other Thrive getaways while she was in North Carolina too? And all it is this. And then Nicole is encouraging her to drink water. Well, this is Shanann's third pregnancy. She should know how to take good care of herself, especially since she's so high risk with all of her lupus and everything, right? But she doesn't even know the basics of keeping hydrated. This is just unbelievable. And I am Wattsing tonight. I'm absolutely Wattsed out about this. I'm twisting my hair right now. And it looks, if you were to see me right now, I would look like Princess Leia because I have now twisted both sides of my hair up into these, like, little Princess Leia things because this Nicole freaks me out because she lies so much. She lies and she covers and she does not have a very good demeanor, disposition. She's just a bovine. So anyway, let's see here. I gotta drink something. Tea. Peppermint tea. Okay. Let's stop watching. Nicole said Shanann was reading a book named Hold Me Tight, a book about building loving relationships, and had a second copy sent to the house so Watts could read it as well. It should be noted that the second copy of the book and the shipping box was located in the recycle trash bin inside the Watts' garage during a consent search of the residence. Okay, There is no book that is going to tell you how to best hide the fact that you've been taking all of your husband's money that he earns by working sun up to sundown and does all of the household duties, and he is domestically trained, just like your kids are trained to do everything, so you don't have to lift a finger, and you take all of his money so that you can get out of town as much as you want and never ever be present in the moment and never ever be left alone with your husband. Always have somebody else there so that he never ever has a chance to ask you a question, which would mean you having an intimate and connected relationship with your husband. But if you try to get a book about how that can be done, maybe it can be done, right? How stupid is she? Here's this book, and it says that this is what you have to do. Okay. You're lying to him. Okay. You're lying, and he figured it out. He figured it out. He knew you weren't connecting. And I have to get a shot collar so I'll stop watching. Oh my God. Anyway. It's funny that he threw that book right out. He should have just returned it. I mean, they obviously needed the frickin' cash. I asked Nicole if she knew that Shanann asked Watts to wake her up when he awoke to get ready for work. Nicole said Shanann told her she wasn't going to speak with Watts when she got home because she knew he'd been sleeping. Shanann told Nicole she was going to put her arms around him because they hadn't been touching each other lately, but nothing else that night. Okay. If you go into a sleeping person and you put your arms around them when they've been telling you to stay off and stay away, what do you think is going to happen? Anybody who's sleeping, if you come in and put your arms around them, it's just not a real good idea. It's a way to get a black eye, but anyway. Nicole said Shanann told her she was planning a trip to Vail for just she and Watts the following weekend. Yeah, that's why she's calling everybody and asking them if they can do her a solid and watch the kids, right? Because how can they afford a vacation to Vail when all these other vacations? But anyway, nothing further. Okay, so now Zach Brick. Oh, that was the end of the Nicole thing. Oh yeah, it's signed Detective Dave Baumhover. They had the overly enthusiastic and unpleasant Fuff say no because she's pregnant. No. Why? I don't want to do this. Go away. What, am I going to get arrested? Why do you need me? Ugh. So helpful. The hero, right? I rest my case. Okay. Zach Brick. Date of birth, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't say, but it says he's a male. From the Flatirons HD ultrasound. There we go. And there we go. And this is a supplemental, but we're going to read it. And it says the following information was documented at the time it was gathered. The date of this report is not indicative of when the investigations occurred. On 9/19/18, I spoke with Zach Brick, who is the owner of Flatirons HD Ultrasound LLC, located at 671 Mitchell Way, Suite 109 in Erie, Colorado, 80615. Our conversation was in regards to Shanann and Watts' visit to his office on 8/18 and video surveillance footage of them in what appears to be the main lobby area of the Flatirons HD ultrasound. Well, let's not forget that our little friend Nicole was there as well. Guys, Shanann didn't ever want to be alone. No. You want to connect with the intimacy, but you want somebody to be there the first time. Oh, God. I can't get the Watts out of me tonight. Zach provided me a Google Drive download link via email for a shared file titled Shanann. I forwarded the email to Evidence Supervisor Amanda Purcell for downloading and placement into the case file. Shortly thereafter, I informed Zach that Ms. Purcell is our Evidence Supervisor and is authorized to download the file. Refer to Ms. Purcell's supplemental report for additional information. Nothing further. Detective Dave Baumhofer. Badge 11 TAC 02. And we have a supplemental Amanda Nicole McMahon. All right. So the same thing was gathered, blah, 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 non-indicative of when the investigation. On 9/6/18, I interviewed Amanda McMahon at the McMahon at the Greeley Police Department. The interview was conducted in one of GPD's interview rooms and was visually and audibly recorded. The purpose of this interview was to obtain information regarding an alleged affair Amanda had with Watts. What? What? What are we talking about here? What? But the McMahon, which was just another Thrive person, I didn't know that. Maybe this one who had the semen thing, the semen boxers. All right, so they're at the Greeley Police Department. Let's see what they say. She met Watts on Tinder, a known dating app. It's funny because they put in the T because they didn't have it in or something. It's weird. I noticed that there's so many spelling things and stuff where they write in the letter and just weird. But anyway, Amanda said she met Watts on Tinder, a known dating app, around February or March 2018, and described it as, in quotes, fast and furious. And now she has numerous media articles written about her and believe they are crossing over with the other girl, presumably Kessinger. Amanda said people are taking random pictures of her while she's walking down the street. Oh, well, huh. Just happened to everybody. Every time I walk down the street, they're just snapping the pictures. Oh yeah, they're like, who's that lady? Who's that lady walking down the street? Sure. Gotcha. After some discussion about how the Tinder app works, what is he like? Oh, how does this work? I asked Amanda what Watts' profile name was. She could not recall, but guessed it was Chris. Yeah. Sounds real, believable. Amanda said the pictures Watts used for his Tinder profile were of him and not someone else, which she describes as the usual experience. Amanda said the date with Watts was a one-time thing. I asked Amanda to walk me through the events surrounding the one-time date she had with Watts. She said they met in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, located at 4555 Central Place Drive, Greeley, Colorado, where she got a drink, and shortly thereafter they both drove to her house. Amanda said they both drove separate vehicles to the Chick-fil-A and that Watts arrived in a navy blue or black pickup truck. Okay. His truck is brown, isn't it? For work? Like turd brown? And the Chick-fil-A, that is a religious place. It is even closed on Sunday and is very Christian operated. Do we have to bring this into a sleazy pretend affair? But anyway, Amanda said their meeting was just about sex. And it's kind of funny now because Watts is a killer. Amanda explained she didn't suspect anything and no radars went off or anything. But it was scary because Watts was in her home. Oh my god, is he like the Zodiac killer? OMG. Ow. Anyway, I asked Amanda to provide me more details about when they first met at the Chick-fil-A. She said after she got a drink, they sat and talked for a while, and she recalled talking to him about working at Anadarko because her ex-husband tried to get a job with the company. Ooh. Amanda said Watts told her he was separated from his baby's mama and that she wouldn't let him see his kids. And that she could relate because her boys are in Vermont with her ex-husband. Amanda said that was the extent of the conversation, and they agreed to go to her house and have sex. I asked Amanda if they communicated through the Tinder app prior to meeting at the Chick-fil-A. She explained she had a different phone number and used a Text Now app to communicate with Watts. Amanda says she's funny about who has her phone number, so she used the app to retain privacy. Amanda also said that she and Watts text messaged each other about the meet, but because she no longer has the phone she used, she wasn't able to provide the number Watts text messaged her from. Because it isn't true. When I asked what time she and Watts met at the Chick-fil-A, Amanda initially couldn't recall, but after repeating the question, she said it was approximately 1945 hours, which is 7:45 at night for you civvies. She said the meet occurred right after she got off work and drove to Greeley from Fort Lupton, where she was employed. Oh, she's employed at Fort Lupton? Is she a military lady? Amanda explained after her divorce and losing her kids, she went, in quote, batshit crazy and hooked up with people and wasn't able to calm down until about 2 weeks ago. Amanda also explained she suffered a brain injury after falling on some ice and striking her head. How did that happen? I don't know. Striking her head on the ground. Ultimately, she recovered after 5 days in the ICU, but she still suffers from memory loss. Oh, goodness sakes. 5 days in the ICU from a fall that you hit your head on the ice. Y'all have to be careful and walk like penguins because it is very icy out. It's in the, like our northern states are just in that, where it's melting and then it's freezing and it's melting and it's freezing and just everything has this little layer of just ice. It's slick as shit. And you just have to be really careful and just seriously do the penguin walk and kind of lean forward. I'm so afraid because so many people who have had their rotator cuff surgeries done fall, like because the splint, they're, lopsided or, something else catches them and they fall and they have to have it redone. And I never want to feel that out of control and in so much pain again in my life. I never want to have surgery again like that. Never, 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 never. It was a horrible surgery. It's been a tough recovery, but I want to keep it. I want to stay on my freaking feet. But it doesn't always work out that way, so I do the penguin shuffle. It was very nice. We were out at dinner the other night on date night, and we were walking out to the car, and it was really icy. And my splint, the big mofo splint, it has the adductor pillows out because I have to keep the shoulder and elbow at like a 20 to 30 degree out and in. Out and I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I can't have my elbow in all the way. It is hard to explain. But anyway, so this big mofo thing, and then the adductor pillows that are attached to it, they go around my waist, and then the other straps under the opposite arm and over and around the top. And then my hand is in, and it flexes that black ball, and my thumb goes in it, so I mean, it is a unit. So, hubby has really taken to grabbing the waist strap to just kind of hold on to me while I'm trying to walk like a penguin. And so we were walking out to the car, and it was down the parking lot, and this guy was like going behind us. We're like, oh my God, do we need to move over more? What is the deal? And he was like going slow behind us, and he had the freaking lights on and stuff. And we get to the car, and it's this old guy, and he goes, I wanted to give you lots of light so you can make sure she doesn't fall. I hope that I helped the best that I could. It was just so nice. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, people be nice to me with my big mofo sling. And it's really been nice. People can't see when you're, living with Crohn's and fibro and every other thing, that just hurts. And, so I imagine people just look at me and just imagine I'm constipated with the look I probably have on my face all the day. I'm in pain all the time. But just having this out there where people were able to see how bad I feel, they've just been nice. It's like, oh my gosh, this is just like so nice. They don't think that I just am constipated. It's just nice. So, anyway, do the penguins shuffle. Because you don't want to be like this chick and then, have a brain injury, be in ICU for 5 days, and then come out and have obviously a sex addiction and lose custody of your kids and everything, and go and just hook up on Tinder with everybody you can, and then you see a killer on the news and you're like, oh yeah, I banged that dude too. Hmm? She's real funny about who has her phone number, but she brought this dude right back to her house after, going to the Chick-fil-A. So anyway, I asked Amanda to tell me what happened after they left the Chick-fil-A. She said Watts followed her to her apartment located at 18th Avenue in Greeley, Colorado, in case anybody else wants a booty call. Upon arrival, they went inside her apartment and described things as really fast and aggressive. When I asked her to explain, she said Watts was very rough and described seeing Watts's face and tattoos. Amanda continued to talk about how she couldn't pick out 90% of the guys she slept with, but remembered Watts due to his face, tattoos, his employment with Anadarko, and his name. Chris said it was unreal that she knew someone that did that. Yeah, right. Because Christopher Watts is going to be having these bold affairs, and he's going to tell where he works, his full name, with his identifying tattoos and everything else. And the man might not be the brightest light in the Christmas tree, but he ain't that stupid either. So come on, woman. Anyway, I asked Amanda if Watts ever told her his surname. She said he didn't, but that she remembers his face. Oh, okay, so he didn't say I'm Chris Watts. He just said I'm Chris, and I work at Anadarko. That she remembers his face. I asked her to tell me about his tattoos. She said she remembers tattoos on his back and arms. Amanda went on to explain she's not a strong witness. I asked Amanda to describe what she meant about Watts being aggressive with her. Amanda said she was told not to say too much without an attorney present to prevent incriminating herself. I informed her I was interviewing her as a witness and not a suspect regarding Watts's alleged rough behavior. Amanda said she was humiliated, it was weird, and that Watts attempted to, in parentheses, stick it in her butt. Amanda said Watts also pulled her hair and put his arms around her neck. She described it as a, in quote, I don't think I should say this word because I think it's against terms of service. So I'm going to say the word and I'm going to put a G in front of it. So she described it as a grape fantasy. Amanda explained and demonstrated she had to push Watts off of her at one point. Okay. All right. Amanda provided me her Colorado driver's license, which I photographed. Amanda said her driver's license showed her old address, but she provided me her current address as 2106 and a half 8th Avenue, Greeley, Colorado. I asked Amanda about her statement regarding people following her around and taking pictures of her. She showed me a photo on her old cell phone that reportedly is being spread around Facebook. The photo is part of a RadarOnline.com article with the headline of Colorado Killer Dad's mistress makes chilling revelation. He tried to choke me. The published URL is at http //radaronline.com exclusives /2018 /09 Colorado -dad -Chris -Watts -allegedly -choked -mistress -during sex /amp in case anybody wants to go and read this hogwash, because she called in. Radar Online pays, so she called in and she's like, oh yeah, I know that he did this because when I hooked up with him one night after going to the Chick-fil-A and we met on the Tinder, I let him go back to my house and everything, and he grabbed me by the hair and was like, hey, and she was like, hey, if you're gonna if you're going to ride my house, why don't you pull my hair? And oh my gosh, and then you're trying to strangle her. And oh no. So she knows that he did it. And it's so weird because she was like with a killer, like, oh my God. Anyway, the photo depicts Watts on the left and an unidentifiable female on the right whose face is intentionally blurred. I photographed Amanda's cell phone displaying the posting and photo. So how did she know that it was her? Did somebody else send it to her with the photo blurred? Amanda said she received numerous messages regarding the Facebook post, but no longer had the messages. She said the messages started after she posted in a sleuth chat group that she met Watts on Tinder. Oh, yeah, not like you brought this on yourself, ma'am. Amanda said after making that post, she was being harassed and contacted by many people, including media reporters. Well, what do you expect? And you used your real name, and here's your address here and everything else. Amanda said that Nicole Atkinson was her manager at Supercuts on West 10th in Greeley in 2013 and was also Shanann's best friend. Amanda said she saw Nicole's Facebook post about Shanann missing. Well, what do you know about that? What do you know? Isn't that Andy? Oh, I see. So there's a connection to the bovine. Isn't that interesting? I asked Amanda if she was positive the guy she met on Tinder is Chris Watts. Amanda replied, "See, that's the $1,000,000 question." She also said she isn't confident enough to testify in court about the identity of Watts, but is 99% sure it was him. Amanda explained she's not able to point out in a crowd any of the other guys she's hooked up with, but is still sure it was Watts. Amanda blames the complexity of the case for her 1% doubt. The interview spanned approximately 29 minutes, nothing further. Detective Dave Baumhover at, So, Nicole, did you and the Roo get this chick to do this? Then it comes down when you testify. She's like, Anyway, so these are the notes that Baumhover was trying to take. Well, he wasn't trying to look directly at her, I'm sure, because it's like Tinder. Chris was his username. Met at Chick-fil-A, navy blue truck. Yeah. The phone, text, no app. No tats on legs. And that's the thing is that, people saw his tattoos in the media. It wasn't difficult to see, on Shanann's Facebook that, here we are. A picture of her. I don't think that she's his type. So she is a hair cutter. I don't know. I mean, my DMV picture is horrifying. But for a beauty operator, I would think she would do a little better on this. Says she's got brown hair, green eyes, a female. Let's see here. Amanda Nicole McMahon. Another Nicole. Can you believe this? Another Nicole in here. Well, middle name, but still. Looks like, what is that saying? She's 5'5" and weighs 140 pounds. So I don't know. Could be his type. More than Bolt, but anyway. Well, then she's got a cracked screen on her phone. And then this, it's a picture of this where it says, Kaylee Parkinson Hall shared a link to the group. Chris Watts, accused killer of Shan Ann Watts and children. Radar Online exclusives. Colorado dad Chris Watts allegedly choked mistress during sex. Okay, she wasn't a mistress. She was a Tinder hookup. Oh, and then it's her. Yeah, you can really tell that's her. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's a little more. She weighs more than 140. I know the camera. Whoa, there's a butt. Oh, that's a. Is that Baumhofer holding the phone? I thought that was a butt. All right. So now it says Radar Online. It says killer dad's mistress makes chilling revelation. He tried to choke me. Oh, come on. He's not going around choking people. Come on. The weirdest people out here. So then let's see here. There's another supplemental report, and it says on 10/12/18, I requested via email from the CBI laboratory manager, Aaron Koenig, copies of the request for laboratory examination, RFLE, request for laboratory examination. Ooh, RFLE. And cover letter I completed for the fetus, Nico, recovered from Shanann Watt's body during the autopsy completed at the McKee Medical Center. In my written request, I asked Aaron to reply all, as I had CC'd Frederick Evidence and Record Supervisor Amanda Purcell in the emailed request. Later that day, Aaron replied to my email with the documents attached. Amanda was copied in the email, allowing her to download the documents into the digital case file. Nothing further. Detective Dave Baumhofer. So what have you done, Detective Baumhofer? All right, request for lab. That's what you've done. Okay. DNA card for the fetus. Okay. CBI, blah, blah, blah. CBI. I respectfully submit the items indicated on the attached request document for lab testing, specifically for paternity and DNA determination. Ooh, girl. See? There are other people that must think they needed to determine paternity. That's why the buccal swabs were done. And specifically for paternity and DNA. Yep. What were those things? Were those on the Muppets? And they're like, yep. All right, let's see here. Then you've got, I don't know whose signature that is. Looked like it said Dolly Parton, but anyway. Okay, so the following information was documented. Date of this report non-indicative. On 10/1/18, I served a court order for production of records to Comcast Xfinity requesting any and all surveillance recordings captured by Nathan Nate Trina Stitch's home security system. Nathan's home is located directly east, next door of the Watts residence. Having not yet received the records from Comcast by 10/24/18, I contacted Nate via telephone regarding the surveillance video clips retained to his personal computer. Nate agreed to provide me a letter of the video clips and upload them to a flash drive I provided. It should be noted that prior to contacting Nate, I learned there were several more video clips retained by him that were not obtained previously. At approximately 16:30 hours, which is 4:30, I met with Nate and his wife, Aletha, at their residence on Saratoga Trail and provided them a flash drive. As Aletha was dubbed the more technical savvy of the two, She agreed to upload the videos to the flash drive while I waited and spoke with Nathan. While speaking with Nathan, I learned he had observed Watts walk out his side gate and leave in there Watts's Lexus that was parked down the street east from his residence. Nathan said Watts did this when Shanann was visiting family in North Carolina. I asked Nathan if he had provided this information in a previous interview with an officer or agent, to which he replied he had not. I asked Nathan if he was willing to be interviewed at the Frederick Police Department and have it recorded. He said he was, and we agreed to meet on 10/31/18 at 1400 hours. Hold on. This is 10/1 that he served a court order. Okay, so then as he hadn't got him by 10/24, he went over there and then scheduled for 6 days later. Okay, I was thinking, okay, why are we scheduling this for the end of the month when we're there? He said it was okay, and we agreed to meet on 10/31/18 at 1400 hours. With the flash drive containing the video clips, I returned to the PD and uploaded them to my digital case file. I also provided the drive to evidence supervisor Amanda Purcell for the purposes of uploading and transfer to the Weld DA's office. Subsequently, I entered the flash drive into evidence via locker number 4, nothing further. Detective Dave Baumhover. TAC 11-02. Now what we have here is a case number, and it's just saying that, they have the McMahon interview and the security video from Trina Stitch. So, security video from Trina Stitch. Okay, so you do have it. Because this is generated 11/14/2018. So it says the McMahon interview is in there as a zip file, and then the security video from Trina Stitch. Why was another creator saying that Neighbor Nate never brought that video to there? I mean, sure, it says here that Comcast hadn't, but then it says right in here, it's in here with a security video from there. God, why? Why do people lie? Why? Because it gets them viewers, apparently. I don't know. I'd rather have less viewers and tell the truth and have people interested in the truth, because the truth is where you're gonna win. It's a long, slow race with the truth, but well worth it. Because it says this is here, so unless the next page says, oh, it really isn't in there, because it states that it is, but let's see. Photos received from Rusick family in a zip file is the next supplemental report. So what? Pictures of Shanann, like they do on. They put them out there all the time, and they put up these pictures all the time. That show her as this wonderful mother, wonderful, and whatever. They can do whatever they want, but found one that was really cool, a really cool picture that had Mama Roo and a very, very young Shanann and Junior. And I put it on my Tabitha Jane Instagram. So right away I got the, why would you have this on your Instagram profile? Oh, I got some shade. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I have that on mine? A really cool picture. So anyway, on August 16th, 2018 at 15:18 hours, which is 3:18 to us civilians, I received an email from Detective Baumhover with the subject of listing of exigent requests. This information was in reference to several requests for information that had occurred at different times over the last 3 days. The email contained a list of companies and information that required follow-up through a court order. Through court. Oh, no A there. At 16:10 hours, so 4:10, I reviewed the list with Officer Walhe and forwarded the email to him for follow-up. Okay. On August 18th, 2018, I submitted 3 items to Evidence Clerk Purcell. The first was a photograph of a whiteboard with several notes written in marker. These notes were used to organize the investigation in the initial stages. The second item was a large piece of paper ripped from an easel pad with handwritten notes on the paper. This paper was used on August 15th and 16th to discuss the case and potential charges to be filed. The third item was a stack of Google Maps that were printed in the initial steps of the investigation to help coordinate search and canvassing efforts. Nothing further, Commander Dave Egan. Okay. So this is the copy of it. And this is to Kevin Hoyland from Detective Dave Baumhover and CCing Graham Coder. And Todd E. doesn't list the Tamburglar on there. They're not telling Tamburglar about these things. They're working behind the Tamburglar. They don't want her to take their hamburgers. So it says, "Hi folks, here's a quick summary of the organizations that provided me with records under exigency so you may be able to begin working on follow-up warrants. My official report will go into a little more detail of each, and I will provide you with that once approved. The data is too large to email, so I will burn it to a disk and get it to Dave. Unless noted otherwise, the requests for data went back to 8/12/18. Right? Gotcha there. And then it says company, Amazon. And it says account identifier, Chris and Shanann, personal emails, no device identifiers on Echo. Oh gosh, can you imagine if that Echo caught everything? And it says audio content captured by that device along with logs of activity on the device, identification numbers of the device, and any additional subscriber information. That's the requested information. They received very basic subscriber information and limited logs with no content. The company was Apple. Request number 1, her Apple Watch. Account identifier only had email of iPhone paired to her watch and her email, shanannking@gmail.com. Requested information was the geolocation information tied to her Apple Watch, subscriber info, and IP logs. What they requested and what they received were device identifiers to include email and cellular phone number, IP logs, account information for her Apple account tied to shanannking@icloud.com. Follow-on requests to this, prompted by their suggestion, was to provide all the pictures saved to her iCloud account over the past 5 years, to scour for exit data, and they provided that. Oh my god, can you imagine how much that would be? And why did she keep the Shanann King email? Because she'd been with Christopher Watts for what, 7-8 years by that time? And you would just think she would have changed her email, but I mean, that goes to speak that, Watts is not a possessive man. But it says the company is Apple. Request to his Apple Watch, and the account identifier is the serial number. The requested info is geolocation information tied to his Apple Watch, subscriber info, and IP logs. and received device identifiers, IP logs, account information for the watch. Next one says company AT&T request his and her cell phone records, the account identifier 910-309-1702, his personal cell 910-850-3286, her personal cell. The requested information is a CDR records for voice, SMS, and data to include cell location data, NELO's report, subscriber information, and they received all the requested above. Company AT&T request number 2 is her Apple iWatch cell records. The account identifier is 720-485-9945. The requested information was CDR records for voice, SMS, and data to include cell location data, NELO's report, subscriber information, and received all requested above. The company relocation is Facebook. Account identifier Shanann Watts. Requested info, subscriber info, last login information, login IPs, associated phone number, financial history, identities of all devices which have logged into her account to include last date and time, whether or not those devices can be tied to a separate Facebook account, GPS location history of the device. Received all requested above except GPS location and accounts tied to devices used to log into her account. Said data was unavailable. Separately, a preservation letter was submitted for Chris's deactivated account tied to his phone number 910-309-1702. Then it says company Google 2 accounts, same request. Account identifier Chris. So his was Chris Lee Watts at gmail.com and Shanann King at gmail.com. So she kept that for everything. That's weird. Requested information, subscriber info, last login location, login IPs, associated accounts, and precise location information to include GPS. They received all requested above except location data as none existed. And then the company Verizon request 1, his work phone, account identifier 723909424. Requested information is the CDR records for voice, SMS, and data to include cell location data, RTT report, subscriber info, and a follow-on request to this original request, text message content for the past 7 days, and received all requested above. The company is Verizon request number 2, Nicole Atkinson, account identifier 720-656-9605. And it says the requested info is the CDR records for voice, SMS, and data to include cell location data, RTT reports, subscriber information, and text messages, content for the past 7 days. Received all requested above. Other, Anadarko has been providing GPS related to their corporate vehicles, and to my knowledge have been doing it without requiring any court order or without the future promise of one. I was not the individual who originally spoke to them, but began to be copied on emails with GPS data. Unless I hear differently, I do not think you need to send them anything, especially since they have an active role as lessee for the crime scene. Oh. Oh, hold on. That's true and not true. Because the crime scene is allegedly the home. Secondary crime scene where there was a disposing and the charges that were there for mishandling of a corpse and blah 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 are indeed there. Why would he have brought him to his workplace if he's out there in the middle of nowhere, on the way to the middle of nowhere? I guess he was just probably thinking that his GPS was going to see if he stopped. I don't know. But that provided, I was just thinking that allegedly uh that okay, possibly there was grounds for litigation through like a premise liability suit. I'm sure that if there was anything, I'm sure that if there was a settlement, then those who are identifying themselves as the victims of the crime, which Bella, Nico, Cece, and Shanann would be the victims of crime, but I don't know. All right, I see this. That's why. Yeah, I'm sure they gave him a little. Let's not take this part to the lawyers. Let me give you a little check. Maybe that's how you got that beautiful outdoor pizza oven. Anyway, give me a call on my cell if you have any questions. Thanks. S.A. Special Agent Kevin Hayland. Cellular Analysis Survey Team. And then FBI Fort Collins. Oh, that'd be a fun job to go through people's cell phones. Okay. So this is a picture of like their Google board. Have you ever seen those big pieces of paper that they have now where you can, there's like a big, huge writing pad and you put it on an easel? That's probably what this was. So it's handwritten and it's, of course, in there sideways. So it says like body something, maybe body disposal. Then number 2 says house sale. Number 3 says call to daycare. Number 4 says shovel on something. Number 5 says hiding something. Number 6 says didn't want something. Number 7 says Facebook something. Of course, it has to be all blurry. Number must be 8 says affair. Number 1 says something conventions. Then whatever. 13 says GPS for Sunday. And then here's the maps where they show Saratoga Trail and the Googles of the above area show their house in the line with the others, just all cookie cutters. And where Steeple Rock is in relation to that, and how the area out back is just, there's nothing there. I mean, he could have walked out back and in the night and quickly dug a hole. I don't know. Oh gosh, now looking at this next picture above of all of these home developments, it looks like you're playing Monopoly and you've got the little houses where you put them on Mediterranean Avenue, Baltic Avenue. Try to get the Park Place one right away. You're a big roller, you're going to buy the Park Place and Boardwalk. Okay, so yeah, just showing all of these. And of course the cul-de-sac, the frickin' circle of hell. Don't ever get in a cul-de-sac if you can frickin' avoid it. And then the whiteboard that has all of the stuff written that we can't really see. And then it says on 10/18/2018, Records Supervisor Purcell took custody of the return and inventory for the search warrant conducted on Shanann Watts' phone from Detective Baumhover. The return and inventory was then mailed to the Weld County Clerk of the Court vias USPS the same day. Yes, vias, VIAS, it's a via. A copy of the return and inventory was placed in the case file. On 11/8/2018, Record Supervisor Purcell received a return and inventory for the search warrant and the return and inventory for the court-ordered production of records for the Facebook Incorporated account associated with email address Crisovaz, CRISOVAZ vas430 at yahoo.com. That's an interesting. Why would that be his email? CRISOVAZ. That doesn't make any sense. CRISOVAZ 430. Crisovez? Crisovez? That's weird. I've never seen him do anything without the H in the Chris. And then they probably got a whole different person's email, but anyway. Okay. Let's see here. Both return and inventory forms were sent to the Weld County Clerk of the Court via USPS the same day. A copy of the return and inventory forms were placed in the case file. Nothing further. Purcell 1701. Now, court order for production of records is here. And it says, so this is the affidavit filed by Dave Baumhover. And it has for Crisovaz, so CRISOVAZ. That I just don't see that would be him. 430 at yahoo.com. CRISOVAZ. Why would he? Crisovaz. 430 at yahoo.com. Just doesn't seem like something you'd do. Because they're asking for everything, the logins from June 1, 2018 through August 15th, 2018. And I didn't know that Facebook was in Menlo Park, California. Okay. And they want all records produced to be sent to Detective Dave. Oh, that would be so juicy. I would want that package. And that was sent there. So yeah, if I was sitting there, on Facebook and I get this search warrant for the biggest case in the nation, I'd be like, oh, I'll take this assignment home. Read through all that. Let's see. Okay, so now affidavit for court order for production of records. And in here, it is once again the bullet point of exactly what happened. It is the timeline of where she was missing, why they need it, blah, 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 blah. Everything here is listed. And I'm not going to read it again because we've read it a million times. Making sure there's nothing that I see here that's out of there. Otherwise, it's just your typical repeat. And it's signed by the judge. We go here, and I'm willing to bet that this is just now several, because now Michael Rourke wants the application and affidavit for court order of production of records for Facebook. User account Crisovaz 430. So weird. Just don't see that as a username he would use. Really weird. Nothing I would have guessed. Nothing that I would have thought that Shanann would have allowed him to have. Such an edgy email, Crisovaz. Maybe that's because when she was trying to give him that name, like she was Shanann, she wanted him to be Christopher. Maybe it was Crisovaz. We're just going through here. This is just your repeat information. And just repeat. They just want more of the Facebook stuff. And then here we go. So then it's just repeat. We've seen this repeat information. Still repeat. Very repetitive. This is 1 of 4, so we're going through all the repeat. There we go. Oh yeah, you get this affidavit, and then you get this bullet timeline, and now you know everything of what's going on in that case. You're like, oh my gosh. And I mean, it's still, here we go. I mean, it still has where it says Watts told investigators that after he told Shanann he wanted a separation, he walked downstairs for a moment. Watt said when he returned to his bedroom to speak with Shanann, she was not in the room. Watt said from a baby monitor located on Shanann's nightstand, he observed Bella sprawled out on the bed in blue. Watt said he saw Shanann in the monitor actively strangling Celeste, etc. It does not say how then they changed it into, oh no, we're going to say that you did everything. It doesn't say that at all. And then it also says here that the information contained in the sealing application and affidavit in support of search warrant for Facebook Incorporated for the user account Chrisovaz430 is sensitive to an ongoing investigation. The release of the information would jeopardize the ongoing investigation, and that release of information to the public may hinder further investigation and potentially taint a future jury pool. So it says release of the said documents is therefore not of the public's interest. So it says, it authorizes the court to deny disclosure of any criminal justice records on the grounds that said disclosure would be contrary to the public interest, and specifically authorizes the court to deny access to records of investigations conducted by or intelligence information, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got all that. So that's just, part of where it's saying this. It's saying that, when you get it, give it to us. Don't make this public. And why? Because they were still at this point thinking that they were preparing for a jury trial. And these dates here, this one says return and inventory. It says the undersigned peace officer has received from Facebook the following business records pursuant to an order issued by this court and served on the business. The records were received on 11/6/18. The records received were a Facebook business record for Christina Meacham. Ooh. Huh. Because, hold on, what is this doing here? The records received were the Facebook business record for Christina Meacham. Why did they get hers? From June 1 to there. Why Christina Meacham's? And then we have the return in inventory for a search warrant. Says the undersigned officer being sworn says, on the 2nd day of October 2018, I duly executed within search warrant by taking into my possession from the phone named in said warrant certain property, and the following is a true, complete, and correct inventory of the property as taken. CBI extraction reports containing all recoverable forensic physical data. I further certify that the inventory was made by me and that a copy of said warrant was left by me inside the evidence packaging of the pink and white in color Apple iPhone model A1784. The phone is secured at the Frederick Police Department's Evidence Department, located at 333 5th Frederick Weld, Colorado. Evidence tag number for that is there. just wondering, did they mess up? Like, why do they want Christina Meacham's? Is Christina Meacham's thing Chrysovis? Why did they want her stuff? Why were they putting an affidavit to get her stuff? And then this one is for the pink and white and color Apple iPhone. 6th of September. The search warrant. Okay. Oh, Lord, here we go. Just the bullet point for another one for the Apple iPhone. Bullet point of the entire thing. We got October 11th, and this is to Twitter. On Twitter, they want on the Twitter records for http twitter.com/Wattstatic. So WATTSTASTIC. Oh, Wattstastic, like fantastic, but it's Wattstastic. Oh, all right. So now they want everything out of Twitter for Wattstastic. And Twitter is in San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco. It's so pretty. I was there in 1989, so I don't know how pretty it is. I haven't been back there since. But I was there right after they released. I watched Forrest Gump the night before and then flew out to San Francisco the next day. So, that song about San Francisco and wearing flowers in your hair was just very fresh in my mind. So we're in bullet point again about this search warrant going to Twitter for Twattastic. Wattstastic, I mean. Sometimes have a speech issue. I say T in front of W's. Okay, so now let's see here. So this is the affidavit for Twitter. Michael O'Rourke. Twitter. I don't really like Twitter that much. Okay, here we are. Supplemental report, no property, FPD. From Bet Marco. Marcoux. I'd say that says Marco, but I don't know. And Bet is Bette, so Bet Marco. Hello, Bet Marco. Says she's a female. Lives in Frederick, Colorado. And then we have somebody named David Miyamura, who's a male in Frederick. What are we talking about there? Okay. Let's see. So, following information was documented. Data is report non-indicative. It says on 10/26/18, after reviewing the additional surveillance video clips obtained from Nathan Trina Stitch on 10/24/18, I noticed what appeared to be lights from a car leaving the driveway of 2821 Saratoga Trail, which is the residence located directly west of the Watts' residence. This occurred immediately after Watts walked down his driveway and entered his Anadarko work truck that was parked on the street. Okay. At approximately 10:50 hours, I met with the residents of blah blah blah, David Miyamura and Bet Marco. Initially, I met with David at his front door and asked him about the car that appeared to leave his driveway at approximately 05:15 hours on 8/13/18. David said he normally leaves for work around 6:30 to 7 hours, and on 8:30 he left around 700 hours. Initially, David said no one else in the household left prior to him. Here. I asked David if he saw Watts that morning, to which he stated he had not, but offered information about how Watts had parked his truck in the driveway several times recently when he normally parked on the street. I told David a neighbor's security camera showed a car that appeared to leave his driveway around 05:15 hours. David said the car was likely his wife's, as she normally leaves around 0500 or 05:15 hours to work out at a gym. Ooh, that's some dedication I do not have. I'm not willing to find out what a gym looks like at that hour or any other hour. Upon speaking with Bet, I learned she left that morning on 8/13/18 at 05:15 hours and noticed Watts's truck with the lights on. She thought it was unusual because they're typically not on that early. Bet offered information about a barbecue they had around 1900 hours on Sunday evening, 8/12/18, and never heard or saw Bella or Celeste during that time. She did see Watts a couple of times as he was cooking something on the grill, but the girls never appeared when he walked outside. My meet with Bet and David ended shortly thereafter. Nothing further. Okay. So it was Bet. Following investigation, not indicative of an investigation. Upon reviewing the report generated by police clerk Patricia Pat Cochran on 8/29/18, I noted she documented Nicole Atkinson called the Frederick Police Department, directly spoke with Pat about a well-being check of Shanann. Okay, hold on. Whoa. Upon reviewing the report generated by police clerk Patricia Pat Cochran on 8/29/18, I noted she documented Nicole Atkinson called the Frederick Police Department directly and spoke with Pat about a well-being check, CWB. How is a CWB for well-being check? Wouldn't it be WBC? So why is it CWB? Check well-being? When you put well-being check of Shanann. Pat's report indicated Nicole's call came in at around 0900 hours on 8/13/18. Okay, that's what we noted before. Upon receiving other reports, specifically the report documenting Nicole's interview and also the CAD dispatch notes, I found Pat's reported time of 0900, which is 9 in the morning, inconsistent with the other reported times of approximately 13:30 hours, which is 1:30 in the afternoon. I asked Pat about the details of her conversation with Nicole. She said it was shortly after arriving for work at 0800, which is 8 in the morning, when she received the call from Nicole requesting the check well-being, and that Nicole, stated she was in front of her friend Shanann's house because she was unable to contact her. No, there was no S, it said Shanann house. Pat said at that point she transferred Nicole directly to the Weld County Dispatch Center to generate a call for service. CAD notes indicate this occurred at 13:36 hours on 8/13/18. In a follow-up discussion, Pat indicated she may be mistaken about the 0900 call time. Nothing further. Okay, so this is what is so tricky because it was in there. I noted it, and that was in the time that she was talking to Mama Roo, and it didn't make sense. When her son was sat down to interview, he said that, they opened the door with the garage code and it wouldn't open all the way because of the chain lock, like a hotel. So they screamed in there for her. She didn't answer. So her son went around and opened up the garage door, tried to, and it wouldn't open, but it set off the alarm, and then the alarm was canceled. However he did that, whatever he did. However, okay, then they went to her doctor's appointment to see that she was not there. Oh, prior to that, he stood up on top of the car so that he could see see the Lexus was in the garage and see the car seats there as well. Her son said this happened, and then they went to the doctors to see that she had not been there. Okay? This happened at 9 o'clock in the morning. Why they're being edgy around this? This woman said it happened right after she came into work at 8 in the morning. Okay? Now, do I doubt that she might have been like Mama Roo was telling her to call the cops, and she called the cops, and she backed out. She was like, never mind, I'll just go and check and see if she's at the doctor's or whatever. So he took her and just kind of backed down. And then Mama Roo kept telling her to call the cops, and she finally called the cops back around 1. I think that's what happened. I think that both the 9 o'clock and the 1:30 are correct. And I think that that's why when the police opened the door, the policeman was the one yelling for Shanann, not Nicole. I think Nicole did her yelling then. I think that neighbor Nate, was watching as she was doing it. And that's why she asked if she was going to be arrested. I'm sure she backed down, didn't want to say that, yeah, she basically, broke and entered. But anybody would if they thought that their pregnant friend was in there and was collapsed. I mean, I don't know why she can't speak in full sentences, but obviously she's being controlled by somebody who wants her to say certain things. And I don't think that she's guilty of the unthinkable, but I think that she's guilty of being manipulated and controlled. I do think that. So this is interesting how they did notice this. Or this is where they're towards the end of the discovery and they're checking to make sure of what's in here and what isn't in here, because it's going to be released to the public. And Baumhofer's like, wait, this is in here, and we didn't respond at 9, so what really happened, and how can we make sure that this isn't a problem? It was signed by Detective Dave Baumhofer, and now I'm eating colored marshmallows. Little pastel colored ones. And now we're talking to David John Colin. And we saw David John Colin write that nice letter to Christopher in jail. And it says that he is 6'1", 235, and sandy hair and blue eyes. Oh, sounds like a tall drink of water. Might be a cute guy. Anyway, following information was documented, time was gathered, incident. On 10/16/18, I received via email from DA investigator Dan Boyle a letter that was sent to Watts through the Weld County Jail. Oh, really? Did ya? On 10/16? Huh. Did Christopher get it? Or did you just get it? They're reading all the mail, and then they're like calling all around, like, oh yeah, well, why'd you write this? Well, that's going to encourage him to write back, you bunch of... All right. The letter's envelope displayed a return name and address of D. Frederick, Colorado. It should be noted D. is David Colin and was interviewed by CBI agent Hassan Stab on 8/15/18. Upon review of the typed letter sent, I discovered some inconsistencies in statements David, made regarding Watts. I contacted David via telephone and asked him about the letter. Confirmed he sent the letter in an attempt to arrange a face-to-face visit with Watts. David explained the jail told him he would have to write Watts a letter and be accepted by Watts to be placed on a visitor list. David said he wanted to ask Watts why he didn't reach out to him personally, as he would have helped him deal with his problems. David also said he was confused about everything and was hoping to get some answers from Watts to help him, David, cope personally and perhaps gain some closure. I asked David about his inconsistent statements in the letter to Watts regarding Shanann being overbearing, and that he told David that CBI agents, there's no way Watts had anything to do with the disappearance of Shanann and the girls. David said when CBI agents interviewed him, he told them the same thing. David described their friendship as neighborhood friends, but didn't get together much because they were in different worlds. Because David's kids are older than Bella and Celeste were. The phone interview was recorded and spanned approximately 10 minutes, nothing further. Bunch of weirdos. Did you give him his letter? No, you didn't. So what, they read this letter and then they're like, oh gosh, well look in here. It says that Shanann was overbearing and blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. This is the letter that David Colin wrote, and I've already narrated it. I don't see that it has anything that warranted the detective being like, hey, why'd you write this? But what can you do? They obviously didn't do anything else. So anyway, this is Addie Maloney. Supplemental. Let's see here. What do you know here? So, following information was documented, time was gathered, date of this report is not indicative. Subsequent to receiving and reviewing the autopsy reports for Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, I noted Shanann's BAC level reported to be 0.128. The report also indicated ethanol can be a product of decomposition or degradation of biological samples. Oh, bullshit. Let me see here, 0.128. 0.128. 0.128. To obtain more information regarding what Shanann may have consumed in the evening of 8/12/18, I contacted Addie Maloney, as she also accompanied Shanann at the group dinner in Scottsdale, Arizona. Addie said the group was at dinner for a couple of hours due to flight delays. About of Phoenix, that's what it says. Not out of Phoenix, it was about. And that Shanann ate approximately half of a chicken Caesar salad and part of some crab dip and Brussels sprout appetizers. What? She was telling everybody she hadn't crapped in 2 weeks? You need to be drinking more water, but that meal might have done it. Oh, man. And the turbulence from the plane. Oh. Brussels sprouts, crab dip, and a chicken Caesar salad. Almost sound like a very gassy dinner. No wonder she was having that. And if she would have went to a regular doctor, or a doctor during this, they could have checked out, because that gallstone could have been really causing a lot of the stomach discomfort. It wasn't lupus at all. Probably that well-formed gallstone was probably causing a lot of problems for a while. Let me see here. Oh. Sorry, I don't know why I just got hungry, but a handful of marshmallows had to come to the rescue. Now my blackberry lemonade needs to come further. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to get comfortable. So, and once again, like I say, they're all going, how are we going to attest for the fact that this was a pregnant woman with a BAC of 0.128? I mean, isn't that about 3 times the size? The point of, like, what is, if you're driving, point, I don't know. That's just, okay. To obtain more information regarding what Shanann may have consumed, okay, blah, blah, okay, blah, blah. I asked Addie, based on her experience, how much alcohol either Shanann or Chris consumed on business trips. Addie said their consumption was minimal and that she had never seen either one of them intoxicated. I asked Addie about what Shanann drank the night of 8/12/18, to which she replied Shanann only had water. Addie said they went out for meals several times while in Arizona, and Shanann drank only water at each setting. Addie said Shanann wasn't a soda or tea drinker and consumed no alcohol during the Arizona or previous June 2018 San Diego trips because she was pregnant. Upon review of the Watts Vivint home security data I obtained by legal warrant, I observed via a doorbell camera recording Shanann walk from the street to her front door. Okay, so they were able to get that. Isn't there the legend out there on some creators' pages that they can't prove that Shanann was dropped off at the house? Along with the legend that never provided the security thing, along with the come on. I mean, ugh. So they were able to, so she was walking just fine. Okay, so let's see. Doesn't say that she didn't go and slam down some vodka when she came in, you know what I mean? But anyway, says, so via a doorbell camera recording, Shanann walked from the street to her front door. I thought that Annie rolled on up to in the driveway. Maybe she said, no, don't do that, because what if the girl's here? Oh, God. All right. Shanann was, okay, so walked from the street to her front door at 01:48 hours on 8/13/18. Shanann was carrying her suitcase in one hand and her phone in the other and walked steadily the entire time. Based on my training and experience, Shanann did not appear to be intoxicated, which would have been apparent based on her minimal drinking history. The Vivint security system also reported a living room motion sensor activation when she entered the house, but no other activations were recorded until later that morning. I reviewed Officer Coonrod's body cam footage captured upon his initial entry into the house on 8/13/18 and noted there were no visible containers or glassware consistent with an alcoholic beverage. Additionally, upon my arrival at approximately 14:35 hours and entry into the Watts residence, I personally noticed the absence of containers or glassware in the home with the exception of several unopened beer bottles in a basement refrigerator. It should be noticed I did not disclose to Addie why I was inquiring about what food and drink Shanann consumed on the evening of 8/12/18. Nothing further. Detective Dave Baumhover, 1102, badge number. Now, case master report here. Let's see what this says. Oh, the Tamburglar. All right, what do you want, Tamburglar? And she has the total time of 3:08. So I don't know if that's the 308 hours or what is that? 308 minutes. All right. Received Thrive products from Cindy DeRissey. Okay. Greg Zetner. Ooh, did they go through and see what this shit was? All right, so let's see here. Approved by Kirby Quinn Lewis, agent in charge of the CBI Denver. Synopsis has received Thrive products from Cindy DeRissey. Cindy DeRissey is a 48-year-old female. And it says Thrive supplemental products. Evidence of the felony. Food consumable. Thrive supplemental products in the evidence locker on 11/8/2018. Quantity of 1 submitted to Property and Evidence in the U.S. mail collected on 10/23/2018. Okay. Narrative begins on the following page. Here we go. This is interesting. I like this. On Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI Field Agent Greg Zetner, contacted Cindy DeRissey via telephone to ask her questions about Thrive products. DeRissey said that she would be willing to send a sample of the Thrive products to CBI for potential analysis in a laboratory setting. She's like, if you want a sample, I'll sell you some. Action taken. On Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018, I received a sealed manila envelope in the mail from Cindy DeRissey. See attached pictures. DeRissey said that there are many Thrive products, but she said the samples she sent for testing are the core products everyone starts with and uses daily. DeRissey said the daily supplements routine is broken into 3 steps. The first are tablets taken first thing in the morning. The second step is a powder that is mixed into a fluid and drank about 20 minutes after taking the tablets. The third step is a patch that is worn on the body for 24 hours. Okay, notice she says a patch. Like I said, it seemed that this is me talking, no, not the discovery. It seemed like whenever Christopher was not, like, performing all of the domestic duties properly, Shanann would slap another frickin' silly sticker on him. Like, come here, you little... slap another sticker on you and make you do the laundry better. I mean, and I know that people have said that, yeah, there's some other system where you put the 2 on or whatever. He had 2 or more on very consistently. Like, she was just like, come on, if 1 works, 2 is going to work better. I don't know what, and, you know, Mormons, they take no substances whatsoever. Their president has relaxed a little bit on the caffeine, where the ladies, you know, kind of were like, we like our coffee. You know, it's not terrible to be a Mormon and be seen drinking coffee at this point from, you know, what I've seen. But from where I grew up, where we had more Mormons in our town than non-Mormons, you would never see them drinking pop or anything. And of course, I mean, they are the most beautiful, salt of the earth looking people, very, you know, blonde, blue-eyed, beautiful children, good family values, just great students, just fun, good friends. Just in my town, if you wanted somebody to play with on a Sunday, you had to go to church with them. And the Mormon church was like 5 hours long, but then you get to play in the Mormon church land and have fun with your Mormon friends. So it was fun. But anyway, they do not believe in any substance, and that is caffeine. Caffeine is a substance. No substances that would change the way that you think and who you are, you know, so that who you are is coming out, and it's not affected by something that changes who you are and your personality and you and your relationship, you know, with, you know, your spiritual beliefs, blah, blah, blah. And so with the amount of caffeine that I believe is even in there, that would be affecting, I mean, have you guys had like nitro from Starbucks? I went over there on a break once from work and had that cold nitro, and I didn't sleep for 3 days. It's like that. So what if there was so much caffeine, or what if there's testosterone and it caused road rage or roid rage? I don't. I want to know what they're in here, and I want to know what putting on more than what is recommended would have done. But anyway, here you go. I'll go back to this. I'll shut up. Do you ever say, describe the products as premium grade plant-based nutrients designed to fill nutritional gaps and deficiencies to get the body balanced and feeling like it should? Layman's terms, it's your multi on HD. So it's your multivitamin on high definition. It is the Ferrari of vitamins. The unopened package was placed into evidence at the Denver field office at 690 Kipling Street, Suite 4000, Lakewood, Colorado. Nothing further. G. Zentner. Okay. The attachment are 4 photographs of the unopened package from Cindy DeRosay. And yes, that is it. And it, and like for me, here is me talking again, Tabitha Jane. I'm sure you guys just want to hear me talking, but I had anemia like terribly during my pregnancies, and anemia all the time, and kidney stones, which I think I've described about how that led to all this. But anyway, it was later determined in a anyway, it was just later determined by chance that I have this this gene mutation, and it's called the MTHFR gene mutation. So it's like the motherfucker gene mutation. But what it does is it does not allow my body to absorb. So like if somebody else takes a multivitamin, it will work for them. For me, it will not. My body doesn't absorb things unless it's methylized. So that means that it gets broken down into a powder form and then absorbable. So I get very low in my B vitamins, and I don't absorb iron. So like you could have given me all the iron pills in the world when I was pregnant, still be anemic. Okay? Horrible iron pills, but anyway. And then I don't, because I don't absorb others properly, then that's what was causing the kidney stones. So a couple of things about that, where I just look at, and it's like probably like a product like Thrive would probably be really good for a person like me. And I think it's estimated that there's like 15% of the population that has the motherfucker gene mutation. So just imagine if there are people like me and they don't know that they have it, and then they take this, and then, it fills them up and they feel better than they ever have. This could really make some people feel better. And then I don't know if just across the population, if the absorbable vitamins just really help. But anyway, it's interesting they were looking into it. So then they have pictures of this being sent to them. Oh, yes, big break in the case. Oh, and then here they block out her address, but they didn't on the other things. But anyway, she had some cute little stamps with popsicles, because that's the way she would be. She's that really pretty lady, I think. There's a couple of really pretty ones. And I think that the Christina Meacham in Hawaii is really pretty too. I think I've already said that, but anyway. Let's see here. So that's there. And let's see. And then it says the David Cohen phone interview is in the zip file here. David Cohen, blah, blah, blah. And then it just says the purpose of this report is to document the submittal of the recorded phone call I had with David Cohen into evidence, blah, 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 nothing further. You just wanted to make him feel like he shouldn't write Watts anymore, didn't you bunch of bullies? Okay, so then we've got property items. It says recovered pillowcase with residue, pillowcases, top bed sheet with residue. Okay, what do we have here? What do we have about it? Jewelry, precious metals, Apple Watch. Okay, why are we going through this again? The iPad, Echo from the kitchen, router, leggings, black pattern leggings from Maurice's, quantity to $50 worth. What do we have here? Why are we looking at this? The book Hold Me Tight, light blue nitro glove, all beddings from Bella's room, All bedding from Celeste's room. Color. I don't know why we're listing this all off again. Why are we doing this? Clothes on master bed. Clothes in the hamper. Baby monitor. Dell laptop. Black and red USB drive Home Depot store. A buck. Computer. Black plastic bag. Gray and white bed sheet. What are we doing here? Why are you guys doing this? Rake head, rake handle, blah, blah, blah. Why are you guys doing that? Just because? White Minnie Mouse underwear from Celeste Watts at Autopsy. Okay. Pink oil soaked t-shirt from Celeste Watts at Autopsy. Face swabs from Celeste Watts at Autopsy prior to cleaning. Poor baby. Same for Celeste. Interior neck swabs from Celeste Watts at Autopsy. Oral swabs, vaginal swabs from who? They did vaginal swabs on Celeste and Celeste. DNA, X-ray disc of Celeste Watts. Alright, scan from left and right hands, fingernails. I don't know why we're going through this again. Oil-soaked underwear, face swabs, going through all of the information or all of the pieces of evidence in the evidence locker again, and I have no idea why. Doesn't say why. Why are you going through this all again? What is the purpose? Huh? Blue thong type underwear from Shanann Watson. I say, what is the purpose of a thong other than make like some pants look good? I don't know. Purple and white cotton t-shirt with a silver peace sign and heart design from Shanann Watts at Autopsy, and they said it's not worth anything. But those leggings, oh, and the black bra from Shanann Watts at Autopsy, not worth anything. Oh, they must not. And then the white metal post nose ring, they put it in 0 brown paper bag from Shanann Watts at Autopsy. Okay, blah 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 blah. What do you want here? And then corners bag sheet from Shanann Watts at Autopsy. Fingernails from Shanann. Okay, come on. What is the relevance? Can you tell me the relevance here, please? No? Yes? No? No? Nope. Okay. Okay, and then the fetus. Fetus from Shanann Watts at Autopsy, submitted to CBI from work. Value 0. That is just ridiculous. Dirt particles, cardboard. Put that right in there with the fetus. How wonderful. Oh my god. Alright. But, you know, the square point shovel, that's $30, you know. But red-handled sickle. Gas can. Work boots, $100. DNA of the steering wheel of work truck. Yeah. Roll of plastic bags, $15. Cigarette lighter from the truck, $10. Trace left center console, $1. Okay, why are we doing all this? We've seen this a million times. What would you have ever went... Okay. Shirt from car, $20. What would you have went to trial with? You have nothing. You have nothing. You just made this whole thing, this 2,000-page thing of all of this repetition that you have nothing. You have nothing. So you just keep reporting what you have, which is nothing. These are drone photos that are in the thing. They're just... chronicling what they have. Oh, and this is 34 of 58, so they're just chronicling all of the evidence that they have to this point, which is what we've seen a million times. Officer Davies' contact with defense team. Okay. Supplier. Bake search warrant. Bake's consensual house. Sergeant Bake's consensual search. Okay. Search warrant photos. USB from Conoco South Register. South North Register from Conoco. 911 radio dispatch from Weld County. Shenan's makeup bag from Frank Rusick. Offense report photos. Longmont drying locker. Seawatt's consent in dog sniff. System test of interview room. Chris Watts disclosure. Seawatt's discusses location of bodies. Seawatt's interview room alone. Why is that worth $1? Seawatt's an interview alone because you were recording him. Did you tell him you were still recording him? Seawatt's polygraph worth $1. Oh, I'd pay $1.50 for that. And then the Dacono defense team in the house. Coder interviews. Yes, and somebody asked if I had a sore throat the next day from me doing the coder, and yes, I did. Yes, I did. I woke up, my throat was so sore. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, it was because I was doing that. Officer James transports Seawatts to NJC. Okay. Courtesy ride of Ronnie Watts. Yeah. What, you recorded that or whatever? And then Officer James messages and video from Walmart. Yes, of the kids that were not his, because the one had her hair down the middle of her waist, which would have been Bella's dream. Officer James, follow-up calls, Manly search warrant. Officer Lyons, Home Depot, Conoco, James. Then the ultrasound medical files for $1. Oh, I'd give you $3 for that one. Interview prep, interview of N. Atkinson by Baumhover. Footage of Seawatt's truck. Okay. Footage from McDonald's. Copy of Home Depot. Footage from T. Young. Security footage of Saratoga. Hold on. What is this? Recovered CD55 security footage from 6432 Saratoga. That recovery date 9/27/2018. So that must be like when they had the cop doing the surveillance, and he said this. Interview of Ronnie Watts with S.A. Hoyland and Kobach. Interview R. Watts with S.A. Hoyland. Copy of 911 radio traffic. Officer Perez neighborhood canvas. This is just again going through every single thing that they have in evidence right now. Buccal swabs from defendant Watts, which, like I say, that's because they were definitely checking that paternity. Screenshots from Nicole's Life 360 app. Okay. Yes. Basically just showed her turn around in a circle. Let me see here. External hard drive containing info from phone dumps. Footage from Dacono Assist. Recorded video from Baby Monitor. Yeah, where they went and they manhandled and strangled a doll. CD containing Kessinger phone extraction. CD containing PDF download from CBI. CD containing interview of N. Kessinger. Ooh, guys, we're down to 100 pages. Ooh. Handwritten card from C. Watts to N. Kissinger. Greeting cards from C. Watts to N. Kissinger. Miscellaneous clothing belonging to C. Watts. Down to 100 pages. Interview of A. McMahon by Baumhover. Flash drive containing video clips of Nathan's surveillance system. Recording, recover date 10/24/18. We know it's there now. Recorded call with Dave Colin. Yeah, we know. You bullied him, so he wouldn't write anymore. But you big bully. And then this is just showing how it's all zipped up in there. And then let's see where we're at right here. Because now we are officer report. What do we have here? That Rule 16 video, which, still bothers me as to what it was. A Rule 16 pod video. And here we are, and it says reporting investigator, miscellaneous documents with a supplemental report. It says jail logs from 9/21/18 to 10/15/18. It says narrative. Additional J logs were received from Nicole Morrill from NJC regarding inmate Watts. The dates that were received were from 9/21 to 10/15/18. The entries are not daily and appear to be random observation reports. Watts continues to be respectful and polite to NJC staff and has not caused any issues. Copies of the J logs were placed into MI documents. End of report. Okay, I think this is going to be a pretty good place to stop. Where we're going to go here. And then, so then tomorrow will be the end, final. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stop it. So we went from discovery pages 1,891 to 2,062. And then our pages of 1709 to 1867. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We're going to be doing lives on this, so now we can go through all of our questions together, and you're going to have so much fun. I'll try to do the lives at different times so it's convenient for everybody, and we'll just really be able to start working out some of these things that just don't make sense. So if you've been along for this ride, it's coming to a good point where we can have some good conversations. So hopefully one more recording will do the rest. Like and subscribe. Thanks for getting those likes back up for me. I really appreciate it. Still don't know what people don't like episode 31 and 34 about, but it's got a lot of dislikes. But you guys really helped me with the interaction of getting the likes back up, because there was some, it was looking really bad, like no one likes what I do. And so I'll get the rest done tomorrow. Sorry, this is just very boring and procedural. It's just going through everything to me to see where we got to where we are with this. And, it means a lot to me that you guys are on this road with me, and that you guys continue to let me be who I am. And I love reading your comments, and I'm getting better and better about being able to type back a little bit. So thank you. And without further ado, without further ado, I will let y'all go. Thank you, and have a good day going into Monday. You'll hear this probably Monday, so enjoy your Monday. And goodbye.